Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Hey, it's nice to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. I've got not a new knife on the table. This is just one of my sort of weird Benchmades. I have a collection. But I realized, looking back through my content, I never actually reviewed this thing, and that's a shame, because it is a great knife. Now, it didn't land very well with the general population, so it kind of came and went. But it is still cool nonetheless. It is a black class knife. That is their sort of professional line, whatever that means to you. I don't know. Let's take a look at what you get in the Vallation. This is the 407 Vallation, in fact. All right, let's take a look at it. So first and foremost, you'll notice that there is no visible pivot. The pivot is underneath these aluminum scales and part of the steel frame. Now, when I first got this knife, that made me a little nervous. I thought, what if I need to adjust it? What if it comes... Look, I got to tell you, I've had this knife for 4 years, and it has never needed adjustment. So, I mean, your mileage may vary, but that's the way it's been for me. It has a reversible clip, which is very nice. The aluminum scales are really nicely milled, and they're shaped really nicely, too. This is a very, very comfortable knife in hand. The S30V blade has got a lovely shape to it. As you can see, it's kind of harpoon. So it's got a great spot for your thumb here. Tons of belly and a nice flat right there in case you want to do some, feathering or whatever you're going to do. Overall, this is a superb design. It is kind of heavy because of the steel frame and the aluminum scales. But hey, what are you going to do with yourself? Now, it's interesting. This is assisted. I have one other assisted Benchmade at this point. Oh, it's locked. This is the Vector, Vallation Vector. This is another one of those weird Benchmades that I love. Now, I did dye these scales out black. This is also S30V. Yeah. A couple of features that they share. Well, they have the same lock, similar lock on the back of the knife. You can lock this one open. You cannot lock the Vector open, but you can lock it closed, which is nice. I guess with the assisted knives, they don't want them popping open in your pocket. Now, these knives share, at least in feel, they're very similar to the Bedlam Auto here. It has the same lock, right? Keep you from snapping it open in the pocket. However, the difference is that, at least in California, one of the determining factors for an automatic knife is that you can deploy it without touching the blade. Now, on the Vallation here, you have to use the thumb studs. On the Vector, it's got a little flipper, right? Oh, I locked it again. What am I doing? There we go. All right. So both of these, you have to touch the blade to deploy them. On the Bedlam Auto, you just pull back the axis lock and it snaps right open. So that's the difference. We'll get to these again in a second. The Vallation, I think, is underrated, or at least it was. As a straight, heavy-duty, daily carry user, this is a fantastic design. As I said, it is burly. It probably weighs, what? Well, let's weigh it. I know we're doing this out of order, but I'm curious. Yeah, 6.4 ounces. So it's a hefty knife. But for your 6.4 ounces, you get 8 3/4 inches overall. As I said, you get 3.5 inches of cutting on 3 3/4 inches of overall blade length. Right? What did I say? You're getting 3 3/4 of grip space. I mean, it's a really... I just love this thing. I do. But like I said, I love me some weird Benchmades. So when we're doing our size comparisons, we'll go back to that. Here it is against, again, my Vector. As you can see, the Vallation is bigger than the Vector. Here it is against the Auto Bedlam, and the Vallation is small, and everything's smaller than the Bedlam. What else do we have on the table? Here it is against the Aileron, another weird Benchmade that I love very much. And finally, the 111 H2O, or H2O 111. This is part of their sort of all-weather series. This, by the way, is the same handle that you get on the Rift. slightly different materials. As you can see, the Vallation here is, for Benchmade anyway, sort of a medium weight knife. Medium, that's heavyweight, but a medium-sized knife. They got bigger stuff and they have smaller. For those of you that are more familiar, here it is the full-size grip, and as you can see, the Vallation is just way bigger than that. And finally, our old friend the bug out. There's nothing wrong with this knife. It's just not as interesting as some of the stuff Benchmade has done in the past, and I wish they would keep doing this. I love weird Benchmade knives. I really do. I mean, look at these. They're cool, fun to use, and still very, very functional. The Vector here is 20 CV. This is truly an interesting knife. And of course, very few things are as cool as the full-size Bedlam. I love this knife. Anyway, the Vector, the Vector. It's right here in front of me. Give me a break. The Vallation, they make a Mini, as I mentioned. The Mini Vallation is about the same size as the aileron here. You can still find these from time to time. If you've got an old knife shop that has sort of new old Benchmade stock, you may come across one. If you're looking for a knife that is durable, interesting in design, very useful in overall design, right? Nice functional blade, good, comfortable. I mean, this is just ridiculously comfortable. The Vallation here is a good way to go. If you're a Benchmade collector and you don't have one of these yet, don't be afraid to pick one up. They were about $2.25 new, as I said. I'm sure, maybe I didn't. They're about $2.25 new, so they'd be somewhat more than that now. I love stuff like this. It's what makes me happy. And in the end, it has to matter, right? So if you are a collector and you're looking for something cool to add to the collection, keep your eyes open for one of these. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been the Benchmade Vallation. I have been a Therapeutic Edge, just sharing something I thought was cool. I hope you guys are having a great day. We'll see you next time.